Hi everyone, I am your instructor, Professor Warner. So I wanted to make a video about everything you need to do for your group project that's due at the end of this semester. So you have three companies that you can choose from. You can choose from Fitbit, your group can choose Procter & Gamble, or you can choose General Electric, and it's completely up to you which company you want to choose. It just has to be a publicly traded company. So remember, you have basically two assignments. You have a case analysis paper that has to be turned in and a PowerPoint that has to be turned in. And remember, your PowerPoint is derived from your case analysis paper. So you should be working on that first, and then all you're going to do when you create your PowerPoint is pull data from your case analysis paper. So let me share my screen, and then you can see what we're supposed to be doing. So my my screen is in our module. Let's see. So you're going to start here. First of all, if you haven't introduced yourself to your group, you need to do that. So I have some groups that have already started interacting. Everyone that has a number one, I posted an initial, this is where your group needs to go to discuss things. So that's me, that initial one, but the additional responses are these group members interacting with each other. All groups should be interacting in this thread. This is how I know who's engaging with their group. So at the end of this period, when everything is done at the end of the semester, you're going to do a team analysis on each other. And I can kind of go and see who's been corresponding with each other. So you need to go in here, introduce yourself, exchange numbers if you want to, exchange emails most importantly, if you need to. And you need to go ahead and create your group's Google Doc. Now, let me show you something, because I think there's a way to do it in here, but if not, just create a Google Doc, get everybody's email. I'll start in this initial one. Okay, so I posted this initial one and Jenny said, hi team C, who else is on this team? Jennifer. So you can start a new thread here, or you can piggyback off of hers to be able to correspond with your group. So I'm just showing you where your group needs to be. Now remember, everybody needs to add me to their Google Doc. That way I can see who was waiting to the last minute to post their assignments. So if I'm looking in the group discussion here, I can see that group A says, hey everybody, everyone's gonna have their section completed by Friday, let's just say. So I can actually go, if I need full access to your Google Doc. I can actually see if everybody in your group actually posted like they were supposed to. And this way, this prevents, because you have to realize you are not my only class. I have about 6 classes, about 240 students this semester. But this prevents your group from coming to me and say, hey, Jane Doe, we haven't heard from her, she's not posting. I already know because I'll have access. Unless it's like, you know, you haven't heard from that person in a week and you're on a time crunch, you can reach out to me. Otherwise, I'm going in here and monitoring the engagements between each group. So this is where you're going to submit your PowerPoint. It's literally just an upload. It's going to be worth 100 points. Just make sure you're seeing it from my point of view, an instructor's point of view. But from the student's point of view, just make sure you go in here and attach it. So that's the PowerPoint. Your final case paper will be submitted here. And remember, your case paper should be completed before you do the PowerPoint. I have attached some example case papers. Both of these case papers, I believe, was done on JCPenney's. You won't be doing that company. Like I said, you can choose Fitbit, Procter & Gamble, and General Electric. Now, let me break down the 3 rubrics. Okay, so the first rubric is for the case paper. That is it. This is everything that needs to be done for the case paper. You need to have a title page with all of your group members on there. You need a table of contents. Needs to be on a separate, start on a separate sheet of paper, just like you'd see in a book. I would do this last because you don't know how much you write. You don't know how many pages each of these are going to take. Most groups ask me, how many pages does our case paper have to be? I'm not really looking for pages. I'm looking for content. So I've had, on average, most groups give me anywhere from 10 to 12 pages. I've had groups turn in 35 pages. And I have to read it all. It's a bit excessive, but they're just being thorough. So whatever your group decides to do, that's fine. Make sure you have an executive summary. Remember, an executive summary is not some full blown out, even a full blown page. It's just a paragraph. And the only thing I'm looking for is for you to give a brief assessment of the issues. Now remember, the whole point of a case analysis is to take a company that is on the brink of failure, and you're writing about how they can save themselves. So if they do these things, if you identify these key points where they're having issues, you're able to offer recommendations to help turn the company around to save them. So basically, your group is going to view me as if I was the CEO of whatever company you chose, Fitbit, Procter & Gamble, General Electric. And I'm trying to decide which marketing firm, out of all groups, A through H, who's going to come in and who I'm going to pay to come in and change my organization around to help us from going under, basically. So in your executive summary, just list the 3 main critical issues and the 3 main recommendations that combats those issues. Let me see. I just want to make sure. Okay, and then that needs to have a heading. Executive summary needs to be its own page. Okay, its own page. Then your actual body of your paragraph start. Okay, so this is in a new sheet of paper. You need to have the heading organizational analysis, because I've had in the past where students they would start from number 4 through 8, type all this together, and I would read this, and there were some components in here I didn't find, and they would swear they were in the paper. Well, if you separate them by paragraph because of the title, okay, organizational analysis, answer these in a paragraph, skip a line. Environmental analysis, underline it, answer these in a paragraph, skip a line. Critical, so forth and so on. So if you do that, there should be no dispute on my group didn't forget anything, because I can actually see the identifying paragraphs here. So organizational analysis. Remember, this breaks down the first 2 sections of SWOT, the sectors of SWOT, which are strengths and weaknesses. So in this paragraph, you're going to describe the organization's goals. So what were their goals? What's their mission? You can get their mission statements off their website, and strategies it has used to achieve its goals. So basically, you need to say, this is what you've been doing. What are their core competencies? Give me some information about the company, the strengths and the weaknesses, which is the first part of SWOT. Relevant organizational culture and history. And then environmental analysis. Remember, this is the O and the T of SWOT, opportunities and threats. Competitive opportunities and threats, present and forecasted. What do you and your group foresee being a hindrance, a threat to that company? And then if there are any general environment, economic, social, cultural, political, technological, environmental, sustainability factors. If there are none, you need to address it, not just ignore it. Like, let's just say there was no legal factor affecting Fitbit. You would say at this time, there's no legal factor affecting Fitbit, but don't just ignore it because you didn't address the topic, right? Like if no one's suing them. Political and legal, even though they're similar, they're 2 different things, right? Political, we're talking about on the government level. Legal, is someone pending a case against them? Is the government pending a case against them, right? And that's why they could go hand in hand, because if you think about some companies that work in oil and gas, Food and Drug Administration could be coming after some companies. So that's why it can be on the verge of political and legal, right? But if there's no like political ramifications they're dealing with or legal, just state that. Critical issues of the company. So make sure you answer, what are the issues you and your group see? Critical analysis of major issues presented by the case. From reading about Fitbit or reading about Procter & Gamble. We know about Procter & Gamble for years. They've had, oh, that was a substance I can't even think, talc. Sorry, I get to campus every morning at 6 o'clock. So I've been here. It's 8:30 and I'm still in my office. They had talc in their powder that they just pulled from the shelves. So that's hurting the sales, obviously. All three of these companies I've chosen for you to do a case analysis on, their stock prices have tanked. And why? At one time, their stock prices were doing very well. So that's what this paper is about. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but it can be, because I don't want you to give me fluff, repetitive, unnecessary wording, but I want you to be succinct and concise, but be thorough. I've studied these companies, so I know and expect some things to be in here. What alternative strategies have you and your group discussed? Discussion of positive and negative aspects of either 2 or 3 feasible strategies to achieve sustainable competitive advantage. And these recommendations, these are the ones you're going to be thorough on. So the critical issues and the recommendations, guys, those are the ones that were listed here. You have at least 3. If you and your group want to do more, that's up to you. Remember, for each critical, you have to have at least 3. For each one you name, you have to have a recommendation to combat that issue. Okay, because you're solving the issues. So if you name 5, you need 5 recommendations. If you do the minimum 3 recommendations. This is where you're going to go in detail of those 3 recommendations, and this is where you're going in detail of those 3 critical issues. So I'm only looking for this executive summary, literally a paragraph, 4 to 5 sentences, maybe 6, like because it's supposed to be like a paper. So it should be a very nice, well thought out paper, some nice complete sentences. Our critical issues for our case analysis is, don't do that. So, a paragraph, but a college paragraph. So maybe up to 9 sentences, but that's it, because you're not even explaining why here. You're going to explain the why here regarding the issues and why you and your group chose the recommendations you did. Now remember, this paper needs to be in MLA style, and everybody's going to have an appendix. So any graphs, any charts, which you're going to end up having, because when you're talking about critical issues, you need to be comparing. Okay, let's talk about the obvious. Fitbit's biggest competitors are Apple Watches, Samsung watches, and now generic watches you can just buy on Amazon, right? And you're going to find on the internet charts and graphs that show stats and why people are buying Apple more, right? Don't put that in the body of your paragraph. You put it here in the appendix. Your paragraphs, your body of your paragraph should only have wording, right? That's what the appendix is for. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. That is just for the paper. Now remember, once you finish the paper, you can submit it anytime. You don't have to wait till December 1st. Once you finish the paper, you also need to do the financial aspects of the paper. So this is why you're choosing a publicly traded company. Now you have to do a profit and loss statement. It needs to be a year. Now we haven't finished 2019, so you're not going to have this whole thing of 2019. Right now it's November, and financial information for publicly traded companies are released in quarters. So out right now is January through March, April through June, July through September. You're not going to have October through December, right? So you only need to give me January through September. If you can give me October, November, December from 2018, right? To have a full year. If you don't, you can just stop at October and I'll be fine with that because we're so close to the last quarter of the year, right? Now here, when you get to revenues, okay, so let's keep using Fitbit. Fitbit, I know they have a charge one watch, a charge two watch. I'm just trying to go from memory. This is going to be by product, okay? Let's see, let's look. How about that? We just look. Let's look at Fitbit. Okay, so products. That's what I'm saying. So I remember the charge two charge. I guess they've upgraded. So you have fitness trackers, you have smart watches, you have additional products here, right? They even have smart scales now. So what you're going to do is you're going to be listing their biggest revenue, which you should be able to find their biggest revenue producing item, which you should be able to find on their financials. All you should have to do for a publicly traded company is Google Fitbit financial statements 2019. It is mandated. Every publicly traded company has to publish their financials for their stockholders to be able to have access. So it's going to take some digging, hence why you're now realizing why you're in a group. It's a lot of work to do for one person. And this is the student learning objective, this case paper and this PowerPoint, which the faculty who's over this course has required for everyone who takes this course. She doesn't care who's teaching it. Every single class has to do this project because this is her student learning outcome she's chosen for her course. So whatever product you use, you have to be consistent. So let's just see again. So if you chose the Versa 2 and the Versa Lite Edition, I don't know, but let's just say these were the two biggest sellers. Okay, Versa 2, Versa Lite Edition. The revenues it's done, Versa 2, Versa Lite Edition. The expenses, right? That's what cost of goods sold is, right? You total these up for your two, you total these up. Your gross profit is revenue, your total revenue minus total cost of goods sold. And then on their finances verbatim, you would just copy their ending rent for January on their financials, their ending salary and wages. How much are they spending on rent? How much are they spending to pay their employees? How much is Fitbit spending to purchase supplies, advertising? And then just add them up here. If there isn't an amount, do not make it up. That is financial fraud, right? That's Enron and Arthur Andersen all over again. Now, if someone has taken accounting, it would be nice if that person took the lead on this. If not, and they're like, I hated accounting, then y'all gonna have to figure that out on the group. You break this up how you see fit as a group. I'm not assigning people to the paper. I've had groups, everybody do one section. They knock this out in a day because there's still a second page. And then they all work on the paper together. So when you get your gross profit here, your gross profit minus your total expenses gives you your net profit, right? So that would be filled out. And then you would just look on Fitbit's balance sheet and record everything here. Your current assets, your fixed assets, and your total assets would be your total current assets and your total fixed assets. And then your debt, your total current liabilities, total long-term liabilities, and then your total liabilities. All these numbers here should come strictly from the balance sheet of the company. Now, because there is not a third upload, and remember, this is a separate document. So how do you get this? And this is an Excel spreadsheet, so you can type in it once you launch it, So how do you put this? Let me go back so you can understand what I'm talking about. Once your group has finished that financial sheet and saved it, it needs to be in the appendix of the paper. Remember, there are only 2 drop boxes. You can only upload one document at a time. So it's either your paper or the financials. So when you finish writing your paper, that's financial information. You need to do a control screen print of that Excel file and print it on a, post it or paste it on an actual sheet of paper in your appendix. That's why I said everybody will have at least one thing. If you don't have graphs and charts and all that stuff, your group doesn't have any of that, you will at least have your financials in your appendix. Every group needs to have that. And then you save it on your paper. So it's saved in the appendix section of your paper. And that means when you upload your case paper here, I got the paper with the financials and then your PowerPoint. So this is the rubric for the paper. This is the rubric for the financials that you need to complete. This is the last rubric. You don't have to do this. That I stopped students from doing that because I thought it was a waste of y'all's time. This is the PowerPoint rubric. So remember, do the paper first. You do the paper first, you're going to answer all these questions. Now, this is just one page. It was copied, it was scanned front and back, so it's a duplicate. So you don't have to do that. You only do the first page of the presentation. So put your group's information there. If y'all come up with a company name, remember you're a marketing firm sending me your PowerPoint presentation, and I'm gonna pick who I want to come and revamp my company. So your big business diagnosis, all that is are your critical issues. Make sure on your PowerPoint slide, you discuss your 3 critical issues, 4, 5, how many you had, and those recommendations. That's your solutions that combat those critical issues. What was the company's goal? Who are the 2 biggest competitors? For Fitbit, I said, maybe Apple, maybe Samsung, whether it's smartwatches or fit trackers, whatever you want to call them. Stated competitive advantage. Make sure I have a slide that has your stated competitive advantage. What's the biggest producing product for the company, right? What's the price point or range of that product, or right? The biggest one. What's the price range of that? What type of promotions? This could be an easy print. We're getting ready for the holidays. If you find a promotion, you find it in Costco, you find an ad in Walmart selling the Fitbit, you find it on their website. This is a PowerPoint presentation, so for the promotion slide on your PowerPoint slide, screen print that. I'm fine with that. Where was this place birth? Where's the corporate office, right? Company's market or industry overall. Just basically tell me, what industry are they in? Well, Fitbit is watches. Procter & Gamble are home products. I don't know what you want to call that. You'll find it. And then General Electric, of course. Who are the customers? Who are Fitbits marketed to? What is their company mixture? Well, we saw that they have smartwatches, fitness trackers, and additional things. Smart scales, accessories, right? That's the different product mixtures. You do not have to name all individual items that they sell. Same thing with General Motors. Same thing with Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble have hundreds of products. Give me like the top 3, guys. Otherwise, y'all gonna be still working on this after the semester ends. What is the scale of the company? How many employees are they carrying? I mean, they're in bad shape. General Electric, I heard, 3 weeks ago, just laid off 3,000 people. So right now, how many total states are they in? Are they global? How many current employees do they have? Are they still downsizing? You know, did they just recently downsize? Stuff like that. What competitive advantage? So for this part right here, this is what do you in your group. So it's kind of similar to this one, stated competitive advantage. The stated competitive advantage is what you find that the company says is their biggest seller, right? This is where you and your group say, no, 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 no. We think you should be doing this, marketing this, promoting this, right? Now, it could be the same as what the company, what Fitbit is saying is their biggest seller, right? I don't know. You don't know either until you do your research. Or you in your group may assess this company and say, um, we don't like the Versa limited edition. Yeah, it's selling to men, but they're leaving the women out, let's just say. So we're going to go with the Versa 2 because it has a more variety of bands. I'm making this up also. More variety of bands. This is not interchangeable. So it would sell more to men and women with color variety of bands than just the black band. I don't know. I'm literally just making that up, but you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So what do you and your group? Remember, this is my rubric, so you'll know what needs to be on your PowerPoint. So if I see you had those diagnoses, I'll give your group a 5. It's literally that simple. You know, let me finish this. So the presentation closing, you need to have a closing on your PowerPoint slide, right? What was the whole purpose of your PowerPoint presentation? This you can ignore. This is for me. Presentation contents overall. So I'm going to just look at how I've rated you when I'm going through your PowerPoint. And overall, did I give you a 3? Did I give you a 4? Did I give you a 5? And overall, I'm going to just sum that up with this. So this is actually going to be a reflection of how well you did from 1 through 9. And 11 is the formatting. Was it, first of all, did it go along with the rubric? Did you answer all the questions the rubric asked, right? It's a PowerPoint presentation. I'm the CEO. You're trying to wow me. Did it have pictures? Was it engaging? Was it informative? Was it appealing? Right? Was it visually appealing? It's a presentation for a reason. I could just read your paper and be done. Make sure you follow, as business students, the 6x6 rule. You shouldn't have more than 6 bullet points on a PowerPoint slide. And then the presenter's demeanor and professionalism. I'm gonna just look at here because you are not presenting in person, and this is the rubric she wants us to use. You're not presenting in person, so this is where I'm gonna look at, honestly, the visually appealing. Did you have some, not overdoing it, but did you have a few transitions? Did you have nice background, just visually appealing, right? Because you're not doing voiceovers over the PowerPoint, and I'm not going to see you. So this one I'm probably going to look at more. Did you follow? Was it concise? Did you follow the 6x6? This I'm going to look at the things that pop, the transitions, colors. Just was I not bored out of my mind? And honestly, that's it. That is the video y'all been waiting for. And I know some of you were kind of anxious, but let's say it again, just in case you didn't read it on the announcements. I wait to do this because you have anywhere from 3 to 4 people in the group. So if you work on this, y'all can get this knocked out in 3 weeks. I kid you. You can do the PowerPoint in a day, less than a day, because you can split that up between, you can split up those 10, 11 things on the PowerPoint between 3 to 4 people. But the paper, you can get the paper done in 2 weeks because you're going to break that paper up. But I wait because I have had groups in the past, like I said, who started working on this and students just start dropping the class. And so they've only been working on their part and they're left hanging. They got to go back and re-add all this stuff because the persons who were assigned to their sections dropped the class. So now wait. You still have ample time. What week are we on? Let's see. I think we have 4 weeks left. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 weeks left. 4, because it's due on the 1st, and that's because our final is here. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to extend it another day. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is because you're going to value those weekends. What I don't want to do is extend it too long because I have to read all of these. I have to read all of these papers, all of these PowerPoints, and have to get your grades in so I don't miss the deadline. So you have about exactly 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have exactly 4 weeks from today, which is the 2nd. So I will do that right now so I don't forget. So I'm going to extend it till 11:59 of the 2nd. I want you all to take advantage of the 11th. The 11th of this month is Veterans Day. It is a holiday. Some of you are off from work, not all of you. The school will be closed, but if you know your job is super busy and you're off, take that time and take advantage of you working on your part and getting it completed. So I think y'all are good. Like I said, you have exactly 4 weeks now. It should not take you that long, but utilize your weekends, utilize your evenings. Even if you write a paragraph for the section you're assigned with your group, just get it done. You will breathe a sigh of relief once it's done. If you have any questions, honestly, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, or you can call my office, leave me a message. My phone number is 661-362-5618. Once again, 661-362-5618. And I think we are good to go. Thank you all and have a good evening.